Boss Brothers TV, désormais sur satellite et en RDC. Soyons connectés avec l'excellente musique congolaise. Suivons des moments de joie et d'amour avec les fêtes de mariage et d'anniversaire. Nourrissons notre foi en Dieu avec les services de prière et de culte. Suivons l'histoire du Congo et les documentaires des Congolais. Soyons connectés sur les actualités des filles et des fils du pays partout dans le monde. Découvrons des émissions de qualité, partageons notre savoir. Nous sommes à votre disposition pour vos émissions en direct de notre studio, dans vos églises et même dans vos maisons. Appelez-nous sur notre numéro WhatsApp. Boss Brothers TV, tout le monde en parle. Boss Brothers TV, désormais sur satellite et en RDC. Soyons connectés avec l'excellente musique congolaise. Suivons des moments de joie et d'amour avec les fêtes de mariage et d'anniversaire. Nourrissons notre foi en Dieu avec les services de prière et de culte. Suivons l'histoire du Congo et les documentaires des Congolais. Soyons connectés sur les actualités des filles et des fils du pays partout dans le monde. Découvrons des émissions de qualité, partageons notre savoir. Nous sommes à votre disposition pour vos émissions en direct de notre studio, dans vos églises et même dans vos maisons. Appelez-nous sur notre numéro WhatsApp. Boss Brothers TV, tout le monde en parle.
Hello and welcome back this evening to another show, and as you can already tell by our title this evening, we have changed from from Young Queens show to now Revealed. As you already know, we have and everything's new, everything's rebranded and reformed. We're excited to present the same thing that we have been doing on Young Queens. Of course, we're gonna bring more to the table, but yes, as you already know, I'm here with
Marlene Mayele
and me as well, Jessica Mbo. On this platform, we have our two guests on this platform to discuss identity crisis. So if you could just introduce yourselves.
I don't know who's first, but yeah, I'm Pamphil. Some of you already know who I am.
You are?
I'm Angelique, the presenter of The Voice of Reason.
So these two have already been on our platform before, and last time that we were all here, actually, it kind of got heated up. And Pamphil, you kind of said something that made me want to take off my shoe, and she was looking for a shoe and like to fling at you. So we needed a shoe that day. So today she's wearing one, I'm wearing one. So please watch it. Okay, there's two heels in the house today.
No problem.
Watch it, please. So as Jessica said, we are now known as a Revealed. Oof, kind of gives it a reveal it.
Revealed.
So basically, today we're talking about identity. Who are you? Do you know yourself? And we're also going to look into a small clip from a young girl who's from America who went on the Dr. Phil show, who I think she does not know her identity. Like when I watch the video, I want to pull off my wig. It gives me stress. But we'll let you guys watch that in a bit. But before we go into that, let's just ask our guest here to educate us in regards to identity. What are we? Who are we? Ethnicity. Well, I know my race. I'm brown, you know. So, identity. Please give us an insight.
Hey, why you look at me?
We know you got loads to give.
Well, on my way here, I was thinking about it as well, as well as at home as well. Identity is an attribute of two sets of you internally and also outside. Without that saying, we talk about races, if you're black, Chinese, Asian, wherever you are, and there's always this little, how can I say, a bit of a step. Whenever you see someone, for example, you see a Chinese person speak Lingala, it's like a bit of shock. Why is that? Because the both internal and also outside has to match and able to create identity. Without these two inside, you can't have a fix or the identity of someone. It has to be. For instance, if the police, for example, I say police because it's quite common. Police stops you or arrested you, and let's say I'm like this, and then they ask me who are you. I start speaking Chinese. It's like that little shock doesn't happen because those two has to match. That's for me, or perception or description of identity. That's for me.
So you feel the two has to match?
The two has to match no matter what.
So I'm a brown girl speaking English, and you clearly know I ain't English. So is that not matching for you?
No, because I know you. I know where you're from.
Okay.
I know. Yeah. So you are brown girl speaking English. I just know that she's from that side. That
What
side.
side? What side?
You're African, love.
What side? I could be from another side.
You're African, so that kind of sense. But if you were speaking, you're black. You were speaking, let's say.
But there's black people in China.
Yeah.
There's black people in India. So if I started speaking Hindu, it's simply because I've learnt the language. You speak French because you've learnt the language.
Okay.
You speak English because you live in England, you learn the language. So if a Caucasian person is speaking Lingala and Swahili, it's because they went to Africa to learn the language.
No problem. I gave the example of a language just to be able to back my point of internal.
Internal,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's right.
Okay. Voice a reason. Give us a reason.
For me, identity, when anybody says identity, I would first of all think about who are your parents, which country you're born, and your skin color. Because those three identify a person where they're originally from. Because at the end of the day, you can be black. You gave the language, yes, you say internal and external. Me, I don't do that long thing. Me, it's just, where are you from? Who are your parents? Where were you born? Because when you come here in London, even when you go to the embassy, they don't ask you those things about the language. They don't ask you none of that. They ask, where were you born and who are your parents? Those are your background. Those are the things that makes you the person, draws together the word identity for me. But I think some people mistake, they kind of put certain category or certain things into that word of identity, and that kind of confused many people. But for me, identity is where you're born, your skin color, and your parents.
So
let me just add quickly for that before we continue. As I was thinking, it's gonna run away from my head. Here it is. Is that if it might be funny, if a lion is born in Buckingham Palace, for instance, just to throw that there, how would we call that lion? English lion or African lion?
It would be called still a lion, but it would just be like a lion that you saw in this country, a lion that was born in that still doesn't.
The name does not.
It doesn't change anything. It's just something that is just connected, just a link to it. But the main issue, it is a lion. Okay. So it's the same. We have a male and female. It doesn't matter even she's tall, she's fat, she's skinny. She's a female. End of.
I mentioned that because you mentioned about being born and create identity and stuff like that. That's why I said if a lion is born in England, it's still going to be an African lion.
So for basically, in a way, identity, I looked it up, is a fact of being and a person of who you are. Okay. So even if a lion is born in Australia, it remains in the title lion. It's just that it was born in Australia. If you have a lion in the London Zoo, it's still a lion, but just placed in the London Zoo. It's the same way you go to the aquarius and you get fishes and you put it in the London aquarium. Doesn't mean that it's in a London fish. It's just it's placed in that location.
But it's from Africa.
Yeah, but it's So this is what we need to do is separate two things, and these two things, it really cringes me, and I feel like people don't separate those two things. There's the identity of your ethnicity.
Okay.
Yes.
Right? And the identity of your race. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. As far as I know, mostly there's mainly two race, okay? And that's black and white. And then different people fit within that sector.
Yeah.
Because you don't say, oh, I'm Polish, I'm Italian. That's your ethnicity, not your race. Coming from India is an ethnicity, is not your race. So you coming from Africa, we all have different tribes, different backgrounds, that's all ethnicities. But your race will fall into one. So within the Caucasian area, so as we'd say Caucasian is white, there is many. And in the black, there is many. So we need to know that race and ethnicity, first of all, are two different things. Yes, they do cross barriers sometimes, but we need to know that, you know, they're two different things. Once you identify the fact that they're two different things, then you can be able to say, like, my identity is this. Because I'm not going to be here like, my identity is English. No, my identity is not English. My nationality of a passport is British. But I was born in DRC. I am from DRC. My mother is, my father is, my whole generation is. It's going to be different if my whole generation was or is from England. If I may, did I make any sense?
Yeah, you make sense. Just the fact that I heard something about two race, and you mentioned black and white. I wondered, where did you put the Japanese on?
But they're Caucasian, so it falls in white.
They fall in
Caucasian.
I didn't even knew that. Japanese people are white.
They're Caucasian. Japanese is not a race. It's a ethnicity.
I think when
Asian. It's ethnicity. It's not a race. Caucasian is Caucasian. Unless you want to have blue people, red people, yellow people.
I'm saying. I'm trying to avoid the shoes today.
But I think even our generation and even the generation before us, like when it comes to this word identity, they don't know where it actually fits. They think about is what they do, what they do, like what job they have, what are their hobbies, how they look,
it's
all
called
these
hobbies.
things. It kind of like, I feel like already in school there's that confusion of identity because they just mix all these things and people become confused. And if we, I don't know, I don't want to skip. I don't want to go to the sauce bit, but like let's just end it here. Let's just
bring us to the
Do you ladies
sauce.
agree that your environment can have a bit of, can play some part on adding to your identity? Environment. Let's say
of your understanding.
Hold on. Let's say culture wise. Our culture, for instance, we're Africans and all four of us are from Congo. Does our culture play a part? What?
It does.
I'll give you my shoes.
It tells you where you're from, what you're about, what you believe in.
So our culture does play a part on
it
adding.
It does.
It adds value.
It adds value to who you are.
Yeah.
So that's
our
more
identity.
The
environment.
And I feel like when she was saying regarding like background and your family, I felt like culture was a big one. Your culture definitely shows where you're from.
I feel like, especially here in London, it's very difficult for us because you will go places, you apply for a job and they'll be like, where are you from? What's your background? Where were you born? And you'll be like, I'm Congolese. But when they start asking you certain things about Congo, all you know is like, I'm Congolese. We eat Pondu, we eat Kwanga, we
don't know
all these things. And there's so much confusion. And I feel like if I would talk about identity, I feel like within our community as Congolese, we don't know our identity.
What don't we know this?
Because
the parents.
I feel like
parents need to be able to tell
like,
you your roots, your tribe. A lot of people, for example, I could tell her, oh, where are you from? Say if I'm Congo. Then I'd be like, oh, what tribe are you? I'm like, what? Who tribe? Where?
Some people don't even know what tribe they are.
We're not trying to like separate you. We just want to know, like, just a curiosity.
But
let's know now. What should we from?
Me.
She's
I made out of 4.
You see what I mean?
So I made out of 4.
I
made out of 4. At least I know.
Which one? Which one?
Okay, my mom is, what's it called? Muzombo.
Okay.
I'm Muluba.
Okay.
My dad is Muswahili. I'm Mungala.
Okay.
So
she's quarter caste.
I'm big.
She's mixed age. Culture range. Mixed age.
It's the fact that it's so important that you mentioned that. I'm very glad that now we don't have that much resources or sources where we can actually where those
they can give you a complete knowledge, like understanding.
Your parents is your first source. Your grandparents are your
but then
first
this
source.
is the
parents don't even know it themselves.
But hold on.
I said your parents are your first source and your grandparents.
But this is the problem. Even if we say our parents are our main source, but if we look at how far, like how long it's been even our own parent, there's people here, the parents that are here, they haven't been back home and they don't even know
going
majority.
back and knowing it's different because you came from there, so you should know.
Meaning they left way too like long time ago that they don't even remember certain things. They just remember a bit of things, so they can't give you that full knowledge. I'm being serious because
for me, I get what you're saying, but it's like leaving where you came from and forgetting who you are is two different things for me, because you may not remember your area, your neighborhood, your people, but your parents have told you, like, I know about my identity of where my grandparents are from, and girl, I have not been there. I have been told, so I know the names.
But there are certain parents, if like those that are watching right now, there are certain parents that they don't know themselves because they were brought here. They were young.
Blame their parents.
No, there's no point of blaming. I feel like as a community, I always give the example of the Jewish. It doesn't only mean that you're Jew when you're home with your parents. Even when they're outside, they have their own school. They have their own shops. They build a kind of environment that will remind their children of their culture, of who they are. But I feel like in our community, there's limited of these things that
when you say our community,
Congolese, because I'm not going to talk about the other Africans, Jamaican or any other. I will talk about our community. I feel like the resources for us to be educated of our culture, to be educated of rules and regulation and all these things. It's very limited. Our parents are teaching us the basic, but it's not really the main foundation.
So you want to be taught. You want to be taught.
We want to be taught, but the problem is, growing up
at Revealed, we shall find a way to teach you.
Because no.
We shall reveal it to you.
No, I'm talking because even people.
I get you. No,
there are people that are even confused there.
Literally, because that's one of the my main work now to focus on is to start educating our generation or the one below us, or even add it to about our culture. You just mentioned, like you said, it's important. Now I want to ask a question. Why is it important? Do you think it's important because it can enlighten us to know our identity?
For you to know your identity, it requires that nobody else can kind of misuse you or kind of confuse you. Because in your walk in life, if you're going anywhere, if you've been told you are this, you are this, even God, if you are Christian, even God, gave an identity, a destiny to man, so they know the walk. So I believe that identity is important because of purpose. Without knowing your identity, you won't really know. You won't know what you want to do. What you
imagine you're born and you're growing up and you don't know your name, you don't know who you are.
So knowing part of our culture will or can enlighten an individual to know their identity.
Because it helps with purpose. For instance, if you know your culture, you know that, okay, based off my culture, this is what I'm accustomed to. So if I meet my partner, they must match to what I know. So like that.
I will give an example. I was watching I was just going through YouTube just for fun of it, and there was this young man that was talking about how his mum gave him up in adoption. So now he's now 27, so he's been looking for his mum. A grown man looking handsome, but he says, I feel like something is missing in me. I feel like even though I'm progressing, I think it was a graphic design or something like that, I'm doing it, but I feel like a part of me,
and he drew a picture
and then his mum
showing it to people,
and then his mum actually came, and once he saw his mum, even his girlfriend was like, I saw a complete different person. And I feel like that also is an example of a person who doesn't know their identity, that doesn't know their country, don't know how it's like you're corrupted. You don't even know where to step. You don't even know what to do. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? It's like a part of you is missing. Because growing up here in the United Kingdom, our knowledge, our understanding of life is really corrupted, because you learn for us to even understand identity, you learn something different in school. We're learning about Buddhists, we're learning about Indian, we're learning about this, but it's very unlikely that we learn about African. We like from our culture, exactly where we come from, and that corrupts our growth mentally and physically.
You do learn about Africans, but except that they don't expand.
It's
very
limited.
They don't expand in it. They teach you bits and bobs of
mainly
everyone.
Focus in the slavery. Majority is focused in slavery.
They don't look past before or after, because before slavery we had a hell of a life.
We had a good life.
I'm just warning you guys. I might strike the nerve now. What I'm gonna say now.
Everybody's ready before
He's ready.
Is the shoe ready?
I'm not shoe ready.
I blame the church just a little bit.
You blame who?
The church.
What's
Okay.
the church got to do with this?
Wait. Hold on a minute
Okay.
here. Before we start
I'm
attacking
agreeing with you. I know where you're headed. I know where you're headed. I know where you're
no
headed.
problem. Okay, wait, let me finish. Quite hot here. Alright, so as I was saying, I said a little bit, just a little bit, so allow me.
Go
Just
ahead.
a little
Go.
bit. Due to the fact that the church really play a big role in our community, and people look at our community, they look at the church as some pastors or leaders of churches as leaders, actually community leaders. So they hold the responsibility of teaching people, like we're discussing, how the importance of culture. However, we are constantly from young being told the culture and the history about the Jewish. Yeah, the children of Israel. So growing up on that, that's our Sunday school. It could be placed to Israelite.
I'm listening.
Wait, you're looking at
Don't let my eyes fool you.
that, and then we are.
I'm trying to get there.
No,
Well,
I'm there.
Yeah,
You started good.
Wait, no, yeah, our Sunday
I'm
school is there. They're teaching us about Jacob and all the cultures about. Wait, let me finish.
Hold
About-
tight, I'm there. Hold
Wait,
tight, I'm there.
Hold my wig.
about the Israelite. Again, so sometimes I used to feel disconnected, but of course the pastor was saying, "No, well, we're children of God and that." But we grew up mainly on the history and the way.
Tell me when you're done.
And the way the Jewish people always, their leaders, their so-called heroes are somehow people that we grew up with. But they never taught me about Lumumba. Never taught me about all the other leaders that are actually did something to me, because only Lumumba knows how it is to be a Congolese.
Wait.
I don't think King David knows, because he was an Israelite. I don't think all those people know how it is to suffer. Yeah, if you attack me, everybody, you know.
I'm itching here.
Just be like,
No, wait, hold tight. Finish.
So,
You've taken us to a different path.
I blame the church for the sake that,
Okay,
like you
can
said,
I-
I'm finishing now.
can I-
I'm landing.
Okay, land.
I blame the church for the fact that a bit of misinformation and lack of information of our culture missing in our community, like you
Okay.
guys said, is important.
Oh,
That's what I want to say.
have you finished?
Yes.
Let me take you back to that Sunday school, my
Oh
brother.
my day, go
Jesus
on.
was not from DRC, nor was he from Kenya or Zimbabwe. Okay, so yeah, they went to Africa a little bit. They touched the lands of Egypt and the way they journeyed, but then they left Africa. They journeyed through a different land.
Let's
Okay,
not
no, you took me there. Okay, they left the land of Africa, journeyed into a different land. In that land, that's where you find the Jewish. And
Okay.
Sishin, you probably know the Bible more than I do, honey.
Mm.
And it says that they left many what's the word that they left with the Jewish? Traces. And what did God leave with the Jewish?
what promises?
Yeah, and what else? Wealth and all this kind of
For the
things.
Jewish.
Yeah, no, these are the things that they left them for what they were doing in that time in
It
their
wasn't
temple.
wealth. They left
Wait, what you talking about? Who
knowledge.
left who?
No, what
Who
was
left
given
who?
as a promise to the Jewish.
Oh,
Yes.
from Abraham to going on to Jacob.
Okay.
Yeah, God promised
The
them the promised land.
inheritance. Okay.
Everything, yeah. They,
Okay.
Yeah, the work
Okay.
that they have today.
And you know they
that I
still
don't have.
they still live like that. She just pointed it out. We don't. We are so separated from each other.
I think that for us,
So you think?
No, let
what-
me finish.
you
Let me
what I said
finish.
about them?
Let me
Okay.
finish. And you want the church to be teaching you about those parts of Africa when Jesus has not come from Zimbabwe or
Hold
Congo.
on.
Hold tight.
No,
And you want to be
I'm
taught about
lying.
Lumumba. Lumumba has nothing to do with the church, yeah? But it has to do with the community.
Ah.
Okay? Your community leaders can teach you about Lumumba. The church is not there to teach you about Mobutu or from Kabila. It's there to
Mama,
teach you
we
about
are
your
the
church.
church. All of us are the
okay,
church.
can I say something?
We are the church.
Can I just say something?
Go on.
I feel like you started up in the right
And then
path,
you went...
but then you just went.
I did say I was struck the nerve. I know what I'm
but
talking
no,
about.
no. I feel like yes,
It's a feeling.
there is corruption within the church, and people are misunderstanding what is the role of
Of the
church.
church, thank you.
I feel like with the role of a church is just to set you understanding of the Bible, how to read your Bible, how to pray.
That's what.
And
hold on, that's what you
also-
feel like.
Spiritual knowledge.
Hold on.
That's what you feel
No,
like.
no.
Okay.
That's
no,
what
no,
the
no,
church
no,
is
no.
for. It's a place
Because
of God.
wait. I see the
The earth
church.
is
When
of
you
God.
see the church, I see how the disciples were leading,
Mm-hmm.
were guiding the church. They were not there to teach them about, I
Lumumba.
come from Lumumba, I come through this. I
Or
understand
Caesar.
that as African, as Congolese, let me finish. As Congolese community, pastors or the church should
Hercules.
do some sort of event or some sort of lessons also to help educate, because we have limited resources within United Kingdom for our children to gain knowledge of our culture. But however, I feel like people are misunderstanding the role of the church, and they kind of corrupt them because they kind of put them in a certain category, and it kind of like it
So if
makes me feel.
you feel like if they teach you that, it will help you know your
I
identity.
just wanna clarify on what you just touched on.
Go
She
on,
touched
go
a little
on.
bit on what I was saying,
No
and you
problem.
touched a little bit on what I'm saying.
Okay.
Just first point,
Yeah.
it's subjective to yourself
Mm-hmm.
to be a
seek knowledge.
Christian and to
Okay.
seek knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Number one.
Seek.
And remember, as
shall
a
find.
Christian, if you have this revelation, you are a spiritual Jew. Just to let you know. Spiritually,
Jew.
you're a spiritual Jew.
I don't want to. Okay.
We
Wait.
won't
Hold on.
we won't go into that context. We
Okay,
can't.
okay.
We can't.
We won't go.
No,
Okay,
we
fine.
can't.
I won't touch
The
this.
role she
I
just touched.
I get it. I just want to say this.
She just touched on the role of the church. If you're going to church, expect to learn the things about the Word of God.
About
you're
the
not.
Jews.
You're not gonna.
They're all Jewish in the Bible.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
not.
but
If
what was your problem with the Jews?
if David was Congolese, or if Moise was from
You- no, no, no.
Egypt and Zimbabwe,
I feel
then
like-
they will tell you.
Okay, hold on.
Paul
I
was
feel-
from Zimbabwe.
wait,
Please
hold on.
understand you.
Hold
Please
on.
understand as well. Hold on.
hold
Please understand. When you look at the New Testament as well, yeah, you'll
Yes,
see that also
no
Paul
problem.
reduced regarding there were certain Jewish customs that weren't even taken in, that weren't accepted to some
Certain.
degree. Certain Jewish customs. You need to understand that. Being a Christian is also an identity which must be elaborated correctly by the church. Yes.
Your
but it's
faith,
also
your
your
life.
duty as a child of
To
God
take
to
on.
make that work for yourself. You need to also put into practice who you are.
Can I add?
So you cannot entirely blame the church
Or wait on the church.
and wait on the church because you're being complacent.
Why everyone? Okay, let's put
No,
that.
understand. You can't be
I
complacent.
did.
What I'm saying is that you can't be complacent on your faith. So where you're blaming pastors and etc., they're here to hand over specific parts. Your duty is also to take the word, go home, have a relationship with God Himself, and to know your identity through your Creator, because you chose to make Him your Lord and Savior. Does that make sense? That's
I
where I'm
feel
coming
like
from.
this is the issue within our community as well.
Because
it's
you
like a battle. I'm a Jew, I'm this, I'm that. At the end of the day, when you read the Bible, it's not to separate us.
No.
It's to put us together.
Man of God.
No, hold on. Before you hit, because I know what you're gonna hear.
I'm not gonna say nothing no more.
But I feel like you're gonna hit.
But I told the guy
But
I was
I
hit the
feel
nerve.
no. But I feel like you're trying to hit those that are willing to understand and to follow the path of Christ. They are set apart, because Christianity is set apart. Meaning those people that are not following these rules, regulation of
They
this
have a
world,
completely different-
but they're going different what is given to us. But however, I feel like as children of God, we kind of misunderstand this, and we kind of like clash, hit each
So
other. And all
in
that.
other words, your culture, your faith. For some, it could be religion, but for me, it's classed as faith. Plays a role in your identity of who you are. Because if today you walk in the streets and I ask you what's your name and you say I don't know, I ask you where you're from, you say I don't know, then you don't know yourself as an individual. You need to know yourself as an individual, from your name to your location to everything, for you in order to know the rest of your identity.
But what?
And I do believe that identity is also subjected to the individual once you take conscious decision to act, because you chose faith. Faith is a conscious. You need to consciously accept that this is what I'm carrying. This is what I'm going to identify.
Part of my identity.
This is part of my identity. So yes, your foundations, your parents, is some things you cannot change, but another part is that you have the option to change.
For us to move on, no, I won't know nothing else.
Okay.
For us to
So
move
we're
on. For us to move on. No,
moving
wait,
on.
I said for us to move on is this. A medical doctor and a pastor. Which of those two is doing the work of God?
They're both are for me.
Both of them can be used.
Both of them can be used, yeah. they're
Because a
both
pastor can also be a doctor,
yeah,
and a doctor, yeah.
can also be a pastor.
So they both are.
And God is working through them.
No, they're not both, but depending on which part.
They both are doing the work of God.
Yes.
Let's move.
No, you better come
Oh
back.
no!
He's too much of a cliffhanger.
So you would what do you think this is Sunset Beach? Just throw people in
Anyway,
the
let's go. Let's move on. on. Let's move on. please.
Moving on and carrying on with identity. This identity theft that we have here next to us. Yeah. When it comes to race now, there is a lot of people, or there is some people out there who cannot identify the race of who they are and their ethnicity at the same time. We have people who want to be black and people who want to be white, or people who think or claim they are white and neglecting their own race.
Okay, with this, I see it as there could be a stupid reason for a person to be and there can be a mentally.
Yeah.
Because I feel some people, I was watching a few...
Stupidity is mental as well.
Is mental as well, but it's stupidity, it's doing stupidity. But I feel like there's people that are mentally not well. And with that, it kind of like... And these people and people outside the public kind of entertain that. Like, I don't want to hit the nail where we're going.
Oh wait, this is the route. This is the journey.
I feel like it's mentally. They kind of feel like, I don't like this color. There's people also, you can say people that were born like a woman. They're like, nah, I'm a man. I don't want this. I want to remove this. I want to do that. I'm a man. It's mentally. But there are people that just decide, let me just entertain people because I have nothing to do in my life.
But there is,
I just want to get into that.
There is, for example, a young man who was clearly born a man, and he felt like when he dressed like a girl, like to his grandma, he was more beautiful, because she would say, "You're beautiful," and I don't think she meant it in any way. She was just complimenting him. But I think what he was expecting her to do at that young age is to tell him like, okay, what you're wearing is for girls, it's for that, it's for that. But he was comfortable in that. So growing up, eventually he then decided that I don't want to be a man. You know, I want to be a woman. And then at some point of his life, he realized that, like, what have I done? What have I done?
He's become used to that habit.
Yeah.
But I feel this is where I say that parents do take a big role within a child's growth, because the way you teach your child, especially when they're young, I always give example of my daughter. What I'm teaching her now is going to take effect on her when she grows up. So right now, I'm the one that can either make or break my child. And if I love my child, I have to know when there's a limit and where to congratulate her. That's why I feel like many parents, like especially in our community, the way that we teach our children is more like,
get on with it.
Not like, get up,
on with it.
Like, get up, you can't do this, don't cry, don't do this. But I feel like that's the way that their parent did. I can't really blame the parent because that's what their parent taught them. So this is something that's been going on from generation to generation. But however, I feel like majority of parents, because I told in last show, I said that I went to a parenting class. With parenting class, they kind of taught me how the mind of my child work, of children, not only my child, the children work, because they, and from the age of 0 to 4, the brain stretches. Basically, they can absorb so much information, and that time, this is where the danger is. That parents should have noticed or kind of knew what they're saying. Like, there's a part what they're saying and doing around the children. The way you speak to your child will take an effect of who they will become. If you actually pay attention, because my daughter keeps doing this thing that I find it annoying. Is even when she's reading, she's like, mommy, look, I'm reading. But before I was like, oh, just read, you're supposed to read. But now, the teacher was like to me, no, you have to encourage, because for her, that's her self-esteem. That's you boosting her confidence and seeing her telling her, well done, you've done this. But this is something some parents don't realize.
Parents don't do.
And there, where you see a child will be like, no, I'm white, no, I'm black, no, I'm gay.
So when you when you see your child going into like a different path, you need to like bring them back, basically.
You need to bring them back, but there's method, there's ways you're supposed to do it. It's not about shouting. Many parents, they will shout, like, or try to minimize them. Me especially, I already till now I tell my dad, if you want to educate me, do not compare me with someone else, because they don't know what I'm going through. I'm me, they are there. I don't like that at all.
And it's also a question of acceptance as well. So if one person feels that this is what they're going through, I think as a parent you also need to accept it and then help them to understand what they're going through and the changes that they're going to go through. Because if you just bombard them,
is corrupting. You need to learn about your child. You need to understand that they are individually. They're not a toy or a Barbie doll that you can dress up however you want. You can leave wherever and it's not going to move. You're going to still find it there. They are a person who have their own mind. They have their own idea, and God has created them with their own identity and their own purpose that they have to reach.
I believe that due to that, it's also to some extent understand that whilst they're making their choices, you can only help a person so much. At the end of the day, a person has that choice of becoming who they want to become. For instance, as they say, you can be born broke, but it's your fault if you end up broke.
But I think as well, it plays. It's two. I feel two has to play that role. But I feel like the main source of a child or of a person is their parents.
Yes.
Because if it wasn't, then God wouldn't say, "Child, obey your parents," for you to last longer, because they have more experience. And as a parent, you have that sort of domination, that spiritual power over your child, so you can.
But you also, it also speaks about obeying your leaders. So you need to obey the government.
But this is something. Look, there's a difference. You need to be able to identify where there's a false leader and there's a real leader. The real leader that we have seen in this whole generation is Jesus Christ himself. The way he led his disciples, the way he behaved, the way he went. But nowadays we just misunderstand that. We don't want to go. Let's not go.
Let's not go there.
So let
me show you a clip of the young lady who went to Dr. Phil's show in the US. She is a brown girl in the ring, sha-la-la-la-la. But then she says she's white. She says she's not black. Black people are trash. Black people are all strippers. That the whole, you know.
I don't believe that.
And there's everyone's questioning: is this real? Is this fake? Is this? Her sister's trying to put an end to it, but her mum is the one that brought her to the Dr. Phil show. People are doing reviews and opinions, and we're about to do our own review and opinion right now on her. And the clip that we're about to show you is not the one from Dr. Phil. It's actually herself speaking, and she made this video after the Dr. Phil show, confirming that I'm a real person. This is what I think about black people, and I hate y'all. If you can watch it, please.
Do you not care about hurting people's feelings? No, I don't. I really don't. And I think the fact that I got so much like angry black bitch backlash proves the fact that black people are violent, they're incoherent, they're ignorant, they're uncivilized. They're just everything that's wrong with the motherfucking world. And it's crazy because they showed their ass and they showed exactly what I meant. So they proved me right, and they didn't realize that they proved me right. So I don't know if they're just retarded or if they're just like really fucking stupid. And I honestly believe that they're really fucking dumb. But no, I don't care about hurting people's feelings, and I hope that I hurt people's feelings, and I hope I hurt your mom. Beyonce is a talentless bitch. And people love her just because she's black and she knows how to shake her ass, which is the only thing black people are really good for. Like strippers. They're all strippers. So it's a public stripper. Listen to black music. I don't like black rap. I don't like black singing. I don't like any of that soulful gospel bullshit they all love. It's absolutely trash. Their music is horrible. Beyonce's horrible. And everybody who listens to her is just utter garbage trash. And they all are just like one of those follower people. They are.
Now, we have just finished watching that very short clip. And obviously, for many of you, I'm very sure when I first watched this, I was outraged. I can't lie to you. I was just in so much shock. Now, I'm here with the rest of us who are on this platform just to ask questions regarding on why do you think she would respond in that way or give out that type of message?
Angel was touching on the subject of the upbringing and stuff, and really true. I watched one doctor said that from age of 1 to 7 is the moment or times of downloading. A child is downloading information, that's why they don't speak. We don't speak so we can learn better. If you look at the school system, they make you first to sit down and listen. More time we sit, watch and listen than we speak. They don't allow us to speak. That's all learning process for you to download information inside. After 6 or 7, that's where the child start doing things based on the more what they've seen. And I always say this, that kids learn better by images. We don't listen, but we can see. We see, and the images is what help us to learn and
understand what we're
touch.
saying.
Exactly. Touching on biblical terms, we are created by image, and that's the image that will help us to not be able to reflect on something, because we're made by image of God, as you all guys know, or you've been taught in your local churches. And so it is, and that moment is very crucial from 1 to 7 for the child to download important information, to really also grasp the sense of their identity, and you can trace it back on how she was raised. And for those who are churchgoers, probably will say it's spiritual things,
So, because I'm sure even her mother came on Dr. Phil, I don't know, this is later on, and actually said that she's never taught her anything of that sort.
Look,
so is it true? Is it not true?
Our parents sometimes lie. Do you understand?
So you believe her mom's lying?
No, I don't believe she's lying. I feel like some sort she's telling a white lie. Because already her language. Because if whatever you teach, the basic, remember last show, I was like, you teach your child the basics. With the basic, it helps them grow. Like, you don't put your hand in someone else's pocket or someone else's bag. That's something you've grown up with. And even now, when you do it, you feel like your mom's there or somebody's watching, you're going to get in trouble. However, I feel like with this girl, I can give, yes, there's something wrong. We can clearly see it. But then again, us as black have given ourselves this image.
So do you
we have hold on
image
from that scene?
What's the image?
Because I feel like in general, as a human being, the bad stares out. Is like a light more.
But do you not feel that it's a choice from the individual that they're making?
It is a choice, but at the same time as well, for her is what she's being shown.
She says she's white. She's not black.
But then again,
when she sees a black person, she walks away.
In school, they
she
tell them
prefers to go walking in white neighborhoods.
Look,
than she does in black neighborhoods.
This girl, we can clearly see something is wrong. But then again, this is why I say the school, the parents, where you're growing up, the environment takes a big impact on you as a human being. In school, they're telling you human rights. You have free of choice. You can be black, you can still go and bleach your skin, and you can be calling yourself white. This is when I said in the beginning, hold on. This is what I say. This is what I said in the beginning of the show. The word identity has been misunderstood, abused, neglected in so many contents. In the way that the young people are so corrupted of understanding what is identity. This is why you see she's saying, I'm white, I'm not black. Because they taught some of these things. But do you not think,
because she's saying, okay, I'm white, I'm not black, do you not think that it's also, I think we also touched on it, accepting your identity to some degree?
Yeah.
I think she's in denial of accepting her identity.
Exactly.
So she's seeking for something else to look into.
It's free of choice. That's why I said the free of choice. The school is teaching them the human right. She has a right to say whoever she is, to choose whoever she is. Like a person, you say, I'm Congolese, but I'm growing up here. I apply for British. I'm suddenly classified as
you're
black British.
That's it.
British.
This is why I love England. It's black British or African,
but in other people
British. It's not black
in
English.
Other area
it's British.
In other country is different. But however, with her, I can say yes, agreeing to accept. I'm black. But then again, we ourselves as black community has abused ourselves by using certain image, by using certain things. Because she mentioned about the strippers, they're strippers. How many in America? Because she's grown up in America. He is unlikely.
Well, her mum is not a stripper.
Her mum is not a stripper.
Like,
but
hold on, she says she's not like black people. How black people are ugly. Her nose is perfect. Her lips is perfect. Look, girl, have you seen my lips?
Look, it's where she grew up. We're not looking at that. As a psychologist or whatever, them people that look at the mind, they have to identify where this child is born, who are their parents, who are her friends, what school does she go to, who are her surroundings, enable for them to understand exactly what made her to come into this path.
Yeah,
But
it's-
people
it's-
are
it's-
just
it's
judging
like-
in a way of
her
saying
siblings,
like,
I'm not judging on that kind
She's
of
Her
got-
thing.
she's-
siblings
her
have
siblings,
grown
she's
up
got a
with it on-
brother
yeah.
and a sister, and they're not claiming to be what they are not. Okay, they actually are disgusted and shocked that she can actually say these
There's a
things.
bad- there's a lot
She
of
says all
bad
black
ability.
people are gangsters, so
but
I'm
then
thinking, is your
again,
brother
she
a
could have
gangster?
been. But then
No.
again, she could have been bullied at school
I
by
don't.
people that
I
are
feel
still
like
from
there's
black.
a limit to that. To be honest with you, don't get me wrong.
There is a
What
limit.
you're saying,
My
what
girl
you're saying-
says she got a Kim
I feel
Kardashian
like-
figure, but girl,
I
no.
feel like there's a limit to it because she in her brain she's choosing to say no, they're ugly.
But-
no, they're gangsters.
but
Her
then
mum's not a
something
gangster.
has-
Her mum's
but
not
she's
a gangster.
indirectly insulting herself.
Okay,
She's-
and we can see that something is wrong, but there's something that encouraged her to reach to this point.
I have a question quickly for all of us in the panel here. Have you anyone here had a fear, if not fear, insecurity of speaking Lingala in public to your parents?
No.
I had.
Probably
I had.
when
We
I was
all
young.
had.
No, I had when my
we
parents were
we
talking
have
to me in
had
Lingala.
a moment where
I
it's
had.
like
I love my
you
Lingala.
had.
you
The
don't
insecurity
want.
was only because I didn't want my parents to laugh at me. It wasn't because of people.
No, not speaking. You shouldn't
I-
say speaking. I feel like
Not
my parents
necessarily.
speaking to me. In
Wait,
Lingala.
I hate that point. Wait,
You're on your own.
all right.
We agree,
Maybe
but
not
there's
here.
other people
But
that
for
are.
us who okay.
For us here, you're on your own.
Where's my no problem? No her in particular. Okay, she's an inception of individual. So
She's not accepting it. But anyway,
Lingala
yeah,
all the way.
I mentioned this because these someone said today, I don't know who was saying it, said habits or behavior, it can only either get better or worse. It doesn't stay there. It doesn't stay in one level. Either it's getting better or it's getting worse. I mentioned this, and also a lot will agree with me on that. Even in school, to say your last name, I don't know if you like, my name is
trust me.
Angoma, and it's like
That's you not
I changed
we're
my
not
name.
talking about identity. You were
I
not
changed my
accepting
name.
yourself.
I changed
I'm
my
getting-
name.
I'm getting to her
yourself.
point. I'm getting to her point. There you go. I'm getting to that. I'm saying this. There's a possibility of this also. Like I said, it grows. It gets worse or better. It really does. I had that also. Just a little. Them little thing that I'm mentioning right now. It was in me. I had to really again study my culture. I had to really go into the. I'll be honest with you. I hate the fact that Congolese men will be there doing this, all that, showing the clothes. Just, I used to
It's
hate.
beautiful. If
I
done
used to-
correctly.
No, yeah. Now it's funny. Now it's funny.
No,
I like
it's
to watch
beautiful.
it.
You embrace the culture.
There
That's
you
the
go.
culture.
Now
It's
it's funny.
done
I like to watch
correctly.
it. But these are little things that can either go worse or better. I don't think also can be. I'm telling you. I don't think it
Can
can
be
be.
the
I went
best
to
and
pay a
bad
visit
as
to a lady down South London. Called me because she was ill, and I went to go pray for her. And when I went there, she's speaking English in Italian accent.
Maybe because she's from
Accent.
Italy.
No accent. Sorry, accent. How that happened is apparently she was in a coma for I think a week, and when she came out of the coma, she sounded Italian while she's speaking English. So she had an Italian accent for some reason, and literally I thought when they told me on the phone, I'm like, oh, she sound Italian. You need to come. Italian? That's your mama. She's Jamaican. We're talking about Papa Yardi woman. Oh, relax there. I'm there. Relax there. That sound Italian off the coma. So it's that it can
Italian
be
equipment.
a shift or something that happens
In the
to our
mind.
brain. Yeah, in a brain that make it to forget that sound.
I don't think the young lady was in a coma.
There can be a possibility of these 2 points that I've enlightened to you guys. It can be either that is getting worse, or something has must happen or twisted mentally in her brain.
I think it's the first one, and it's
Yeah.
just getting worse.
It's okay. That can also be that.
It's
I
mentality.
look. Let me tell you something. You said something.
Tell me
You
something.
hit one. You hit something
I
when
always hit
before
things.
when you're speaking about image.
Yeah.
Everything you see, even when you sleep, you kind of see in your dreams.
Yeah.
Meaning,
Mhm.
this is where I go back. It could be stupidity, or it could be mentally.
Yeah.
When you say like, even though she didn't go in a coma, when the person is depressed, you don't notice it yet. They can dress up, they can look nice, they can smile in your face and look perfectly fine, but it's already coming. It's building up until you see the
Living
person
the filter
have
life.
let themselves go. This child, I'll call her a child, a girl, but she's like a little girl.
She's 16 years old, so she's.
I'll call her a child.
Oh, so there you go. A man of a child is quite fragile. That's the word. They say
She's a youth.
She's a youth. So
She's
the
still
mind-
trying to find. They say that you find your identity from the age of 10 all the way to, is it 2021
I disagree on
or
that.
18?
I heavily disagree.
Some people are 50 years old and
I
still
feel-
don't know
but-
that.
But this is what I say. Many people have made these rules. They've made these regulations to show people that this is the time. But a person need to know you need to give yourself time. You're not like your neighbor. You're not like your friend. You're not like XYZ. But however, I feel like with this girl, it's an outburst of something that she's been holding for so long. I feel like when this girl breaks down, I can guarantee she's been bullied. I've seen
She'll be the stripper
she's been
herself.
bullied by black girls, because we know at school, the girls that everybody don't touch is the black girls.
Well, if she's speaking like that, she's definitely going to
No,
be.
but that's her outburst.
You cannot come across as a black person and say, my role model is Kim Kardashian. I have a Kim Kardashian body. Beyonce is
Black girls are
trash.
good.
I feel like black girls are good, but
She
I
called
feel like
Beyonce trash.
I feel like
The bouncy.
there's been something that has triggered this girl to get to this position.
Is she?
And I feel like something has led into this position. And I agree, you can go like, no, she made a choice. Yes, she made a choice. Because I cannot deny that she's not made a choice. She's made a choice. For her to go and accept and go on live TV to speak about this, she's made a choice. But however, something has taken an impact. It could be her school, it can be her surrounding, it could be her home, it could be auntie, because a family, a parent, it doesn't only mean parent, mom and dad. Yes, we say mom and dad. It could be uncles, you could be in so many areas.
You're touching on something I wanted to say as well. I feel like her upbringing, in terms of that, her mum could have educated her. It's like this, but who knows
It's
if
where
her mum
also
was
her mum
working
would
so
leave
much
her.
that she was leaving her with somebody that wasn't teaching her in the right way, that could have been bullying her. That could
I
have
think
been
it's also
psychology.
because her mum, at some point in the Dr. Phil show, they touched on the fact that her mum was dating a white person. So then she says that that's her father, but then they told her that's not your biological father.
See, this
and then she's like, no.
already,
I'm
do you
white.
remember when I mentioned to you that
I'm
guy that
white.
was looking for his mum?
Yeah.
It felt a part of him missing. She doesn't know her dad.
But
Yeah, but you can look at yourself in the mirror and clearly know that your father's
but
black.
it doesn't matter. You can look at
I
looking
feel
at yourself.
that is mental. I'm not gonna
It
lie.
has
Because
impacted her.
she's,
It has
you know,
impacted her
I
in
get
some
that,
way.
but what reveals to an individual their self-identity? What reveals to yourself? What? I have to put it in.
She touched on it. We all touched
Well,
on
I
it. It's
get
the
it,
way
I
that you're
know.
brought up is what's
I know, but
given to
it's
you
true, it's true.
from
I
your
want-
ch-
It's
from
also
your
the
birth
information
till
that
now,
you have
the
absorbed.
Yeah.
The information also.
Information and knowledge.
I mentioned this. Someone said, I don't know who said this. Some guy I listened to said that hard times, pain, suffering, situations. It doesn't.
Those adds on to who you are as a
No,
person.
it doesn't
but not,
add. It reveals.
It reveals.
It reveals.
Because a person can break.
It reveals who you are.
your strength.
It reveals not only
No.
Your mindset.
It reveals weaknesses also. It reveals who you are, your identity. Because some people, for instance,
The
I
hidden
have
part no one
during
sees.
my journey of Christians and walk around with Christians and those who claim to be strong Christians, and those hard moment times reveal to themselves who they actually are. The identity they're carrying, it seems like a fake one, because in the times where it's painful, hurtful, and then they just somehow run away from the faith that they should follow. But that also, pains and suffering, it reveals to a person your identity.
But the faith,
Not
being part of
necessarily
your identity,
faith,
is something
but-
that you have accepted or added. It does not subtract or take away
But
from
it-
who you
I-
are and
I-
your
but
identity
you accept
of where
it.
you
I
are from
feel
and what you are, your
Whatever
race and
you,
your...
whatever, I get it. You accepting that. Okay, you accept
Yeah,
it.
so
but
if along
you
the
have
line you decide to
you
take
will
off
know.
some
Not
baggages
to
or
let
add
me-
on
let me
baggages,
tell
you will
something.
know.
it
Let me
does
finish,
not.
please. You will know if what you add in it fits in or not. It does. You will know that. Although you may add it on later on in life, you realize, wait, what I added to myself or the faith was, like you guys said, conscious decision. Was it what made it fit in the right place or not? And of course, suffering or
look.
pain, it will reveal
Okay,
to
you need to. I'm gonna be a bit silly right now
No worries.
and ask you to break that down, because I've added English in my life, but it does not change my identity of who I am. So how is me adding on things really? Because yes, we do take on things upon ourselves, and we later realize that we cannot handle it, we cannot do that, and then we get rid of it. And we do take on other things and we realize, oh, I'm really good at this. You know, this really fits with my personality and my character. But where does it fit with my identity? Because I'm still Marley and I'm still from where I'm from. So you need to break that down. I'm gonna be
I will
stupid
help you,
right
man.
now.
No problem. You mentioned language, right?
Yeah.
Once I sat in the office, I think it was, I don't know if it was House of Parliament. It was, yeah, Parliament. I was at Parliament with a couple of guys there, and there was all this English man sat in front of me. It was there I knew that I'm Congolese. and although I spoke English with them, something was just still missing. I knew clearly that I put that language on. I had to really place it. It's not part of me like that. Like Lingala is for us. You don't need to pull an accent to nah. But in English, I had to literally search for words and pull it on. It was something that I can put. I had to pull it on in front of this white man, and there was there I knew I'm Congolese. Not necessarily.
So
but
you didn't know that you were Congolese.
I knew. No, I mean partly. There's a enlightenment. Okay, it's the same. I'm saying there was a bit of, wow, I'm not these men. I'm not them. You know what I mean? Because the fact the language got a play on that. That's what I'm trying to say to you. I'm trying to say it very simple as this.
But I know I'm not these people.
But there you go. There's some people, for example, for instance, you may add faith into your life and start saying, this is my life and I died for Christ. I heard it all before. I've seen it. I heard it. This is that. Thinking this is what you're going to be until die. And to later on in life, you realize that, oh, I added something bad in my life. Or whatever it is that you added, you have to.
Identification is also a journey, though. That's what you're explaining. Basically.
Yes.
That's also a journey, right? It's a journey that you choose to take in and take out. You put whatever you want. There's a stage where your parents can only tell you so much. It gets to a stage you are only given advice on what you are, and it's down to that advice if you accept it. So I think that's what you're basically saying.
Angel was right the fact that she said also she might be going through some painful. She went through some harsh experiences.
But I think that explores who you are as a person within your strength. But it does not change your identity.
I feel like, let me tell something.
I think the definition of identity.
Yeah, it does not change your identity.
There was a man who was saying that identity is like, imagine a cup or a jar. You start from 0 when you're in your mother's womb and you're born. There you begin. And as you grow up, you get to your 30s, 40s, 50s, until the day you die. All those things sums up of who you are. But then who you are is not your identity. Because who you are is your assumption or your imagination or your...
What?
Yes.
Let her speak.
Because this man was saying it. Is your imagination...
For her imagination, she's white.
Is your imagination, because a person can be able to tell you, oh, this is who I think you are. Pamphil, on the day you die, you see many people in burial. People say, he was a good man. He lived. That's not identity of a person.
No,
that's
who he was.
That's the things he was. Assumption of who they are. But this man was saying, it's like your identity is what you build up. You build up, and then until the day you die.
I agree.
But then I agree, but then I disagree. Because identity, like I said in the beginning,
you have it
is
from
where
the
you
beginning,
come
from
when
you're
you're
born,
womb. And it's in the blood.
It's in the blood.
It's
was there before you existed.
It has to come
so
alive.
You cannot
grow.
You may as you grow up.
It's something to be discovered.
It's when you grow up. When you grow up, it's like a tree. You plant a seed, you water it. It's growing up. It's gonna grow up. It goes straight, and it comes out with a stem and different, and then leaf. Whether sometimes it comes out and then it comes out in another. I feel like as the viewers are watching, should be able to understand that as you grow, you're learning more of yourself, and knowledge is the key. Knowledge will help you when you're going through your hard time, because what you know is what will help you. Is the weapon that will help you to come out from whatever you're going through or where you are. Knowledge is the key to help you to understand of who you are, what you want, and where you're going. And I feel like many of the young people are lacking this within, in education wise, in the house wise, in whatever in the environment, and that's what is.
They're lacking, but we have churches.
Look,
full of knowledge.
Why are you aiming?
It's why churches? Why do I need a shoe? I need a shoe. Do I need a shoe?
We're finishing.
Do I need a shoe?
You can gain knowledge.
What is it with churches?
Wait, I'm just saying. You can gain knowledge in more than one area. You can't. How can I explain?
But you need to be able to identify.
You can. There's general knowledge and there's academic knowledge. Yeah. So if you want the academic knowledge, you go ahead and you do yourself some research and you go to school and you get some degrees. If you want the general knowledge, you go ahead and you ask people around you, and you general knowledge also grows within you as the journey of life. Okay.
But you also have to know. You have to see the knowledge. You have to read. If you're researching, you have to look. You read, and you also go and see. Image takes a big role, and I feel like those that are taking this in of like knowledge and everything, also see know how do they do it.
Experience.
I see how they look, because when you read, it plays a role in your mind of imagination, and your mind is trying. Your mind is trying to put it together, but when you see the thing, it lightens.
So is she stupid, crazy, sick, or what?
I think
she's one of a kind.
I think it's a mental condition. It's just like what she was saying.
Kind of condition?
It's like what she was saying about, is it the doctor that spoke about the definition? It's the imagination that you have of yourself, and I believe that if you look at a mad person on the road, let me just say this to you. If you look at a mad person on the road, they are in their own reality. What they're living, what they've chosen to live in their brain is their reality. So she's chosen her own reality to place there, to put in her brain.
A better explanation of this is when the guy, there's a movie where the guy had 27 identities. The split. It shows that there are people that go through that.
So he was
he had
Indian
27.
one time, English,
one moment he was a
Jewish,
woman.
Irish,
No. One moment.
Congolese,
One moment he was a man. One moment he was a man. The next he was a beast. Showing that the mind takes a big role, and I feel like
it's a mental.
It started already, but nobody was noticing it. But now this is the outburst, and I feel like it can go worse.
It's a mental issue.
So she needs to seek help.
She needs to seek help, or else you'll see a person, they see a black person, they kill, they stab them, they harm them. It's going to get worse. She needs help, and the parent needs to get. The public are making this into this entertainment. It's not an entertainment.
Giving her what
that
she wants.
girl can either put herself at risk or put someone else or others at risk.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're at the end of the show now. What the producer's been doing, like give them a wave, like doing the dance solo offset, saying that we need to close the show. It was a privilege. Thank you guys for being here, for enlightening us with your views and your opinions, and telling us about the church.
Wait.
The church, okay?
Church.
You want knowledge?
You
go seek it.
After the show is ended.
You go find it.
We ended.
We're ending. We are closing. This was one of our first shows here on Reveal, but we'll be back same time, same place next week.
To be back as well.
And next week we are going to touch on trauma issues. How should we deal with it? How is it meant to be dealt with? Are we dealing with it the right way? How are women dealing with it? How are men dealing with it? Stay tuned. See you same place, same time next week. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Boss Brothers TV, désormais sur satellite et en RDC. Soyons connectés avec l'excellente musique congolaise. Suivons des moments de joie et d'amour avec les fêtes de mariage et d'anniversaire. Nourrissons notre foi en Dieu avec les services de prière et de culte.